Welcome back to the Oregon Country Fair's video training series. This is session number 3, navigating around the group sites. The site's built with a number of different sites within this site. Every major group within the organization of the Oregon Country Fair has its own distinct website. For example, the Fair Family, which is the general overarching group, has its own website, as does the board, as does the management team, as does path planning, as does virtually every organization. So every committee, every crew that's associated with the fair has their own unique website within this website. I'm going to show you logging onto the website as a user that belongs to a number of different groups and how to navigate around the site to see those different groups and participate in those sites. So I'm going to log in using my test account. But before I click login, I want you to pay attention over here to the menu. You can see that there's only 2 items available to a non-Fair Family member who's logged into the site. Number 1, they can go back to the home page. Number 2, there's a contact us form that you can fill out with basic information. Once I've logged in as a valid user on the site, I have more options available to me. For example, I can go to the website frequently asked questions page. If I have questions about how to use the website, I can go there and find basic information about using the website. There's a Fair Family group page, which we'll talk about in a second. There's my dashboard page, which we'll also talk about, as well as the contact form. But for now, I'm just going to go to the Fair Family group page. This is the overarching group that everybody who belongs to a committee or a crew or staff or any of the other groups on the page automatically belongs to. What I'd like to do is show you the structure briefly of every group page, because they all look relatively the same. Every group page has a message and alert section. It's in the left-hand corner. If there's a group manager and they have an important piece of content that they'd like to make sure everybody knows about, they have the ability to post messages and alerts here in the left-hand column. For most groups on the site today, there's a welcome message that was written by the fair staff. In the center column is where most of the content resides. So you can see, for example, there's a calendar with upcoming events. This calendar is a little bit unique. It's not just Fair Family events. It's all events for all groups that I, as the logged in person, have access to or can participate in. So, for example, this member happens to be a member of the Fair Family. They're also a member of the coordinators group, and they're also a member of the staff group. So any meetings associated with those 3 different groups are going to show up on my calendar, regardless of where I am on the site. The next section is recent group content. So this shows the content that was posted on the website over recent history, sorted by the date that it was posted in descending order. So if you haven't come back to the site for a couple days, you can always come back here and take a look and know what's gone on and what's been posted based on the date and time that it was posted. So example, 31 minutes, 9 seconds ago, there's a piece of content that was posted. If I want to go see that piece of content, I can click on the title. It'll take me to that article. There's also meeting agendas and meeting minutes associated with every group. The board of directors just happens to also cross-post their meeting agendas and their meeting minutes to the Fair Family group so that everybody can view their upcoming agendas, their historical agendas, as well as their historical meeting minutes. In some cases, in most cases, outside of the Fair Family group, it's going to be your group's specific meeting agendas and meeting minutes. Finally, at the bottom of the page is a list of all documents that have been posted to this page. So, for example, the BUM Budget Committee and the committee liaison list was posted and cross-posted to the Fair Family group. I can click on this document here and read it. I can see that there's a file attachment called liaison list. It's a PDF file. I can click on it. And you can also see which groups it's been posted to. This specific piece of content was posted to the management team's group site, which is where it belongs. That's the group that created it. But it was also cross-posted to coordinators, staff, and board of directors. And because I'm a member of those groups is why it shows up on this list. Finally, in the right-hand column, there's a search box where you're able to search for content within the Fair Family group. The search only executes against the content that is associated with the Fair Family. So, for example, if there's a path planning document that was not cross-posted to Fair Family, you would not see that if there was a search term in that document that matched the search term that you typed in. There's also a list of things that you can do. You can create documents. You can see who the manager is. You can manage your membership. For example, if you want to leave this group, you can leave it by clicking on My Membership, and there's a link to remove you from this group. There's also a link to My Groups, which these are all the groups that you belong to. This person logged in happens to belong to. So this person happens to belong to the Fair Family, coordinators, and the staff group. In the center, there's also a number of tabs. You can see that there's a tab for blog posts. As we move forward and as we roll out the site and get features going, there will be people who will be writing blog posts, and most likely it's the content managers or the managers responsible for this group. So they have the ability to post blog postings, and you have the ability to read it. The documents link is just like the list of documents at the bottom of the page. It's just a little bit longer list. The discussion forums, if you watch the second video, you'll be familiar with the discussion forums. But if you want to get to the discussion forums for Fair Family, this is where you get to it. The same concept exists for any other group. And the discussion topics are specific to a group that you're in. Wikis. Wikis is an approach for collaboratively writing documents. So say your group wants to write a policy manual or a set of procedures. You can create a wiki for those, and then everybody can participate in the process of authoring that piece of content. And finally, calendar. It's another view of the calendar. In this case, it's only events that are associated with the Fair Family, for example, the group that I'm in. And it also includes other groups that have cross-posted their events to the Fair Family calendar. But what it doesn't show is the other group events that I belong to. So, for example, I don't see staff events, and I don't see coordinator events on this page. I only see Fair Family events, whereas on the home page, I actually see all the events that are associated with all the groups that I as an individual belong to, the person that's logged into the site. Second, I want to take you to the dashboard real quick. So this is a work in progress. So we'll be changing this over time, but this is just a one snapshot view of everything that you're associated with. So for example, again, this is your calendar with all the events for all the groups that you participate in. Here's a list of all your groups that you participate in. There's a list of all the unread content items that have been posted to the various groups that you belong to that you have not yet clicked on and read. And here's a list of all the recent content across all the groups that I belong to. So you can see there's a number of them sorted in date descending order. So there's two ways to get to the groups that you belong to. Number one, you can go to the Fair Family group page. In the right-hand column, you can click on the groups that you belong to. You can get to those this way. So if I click on staff, for example, it takes me to the staff group page. So there it is. It looks just like the other one for the Fair Family. It is only content that's related to staff, though. So you can see, for example, there are no meeting agendas or meeting minutes, and the documents are associated with all the groups that I belong to as an individual. Or I can go back to the Fair Family group by clicking here. I can also do that from my dashboard. By clicking on the My Dashboard link, I can also come over here and click on it. We hope this brief tour was informative. There'll be additional training videos coming out as we roll out new features and functionality.